Kunal, if you could meet any historical character today, who would that be apart from Babar?
Historical character.
Ashok Kumar saab, the legendary Ashok Kumar actor.
The actor?
Mm-hmm. How can you sum up Shabana Azmi in one word?
Great fun. Everyone thinks that Shabana ji is a very, very serious person, and I used to feel like that as well.
How the role of Babar impacted you personally?
Well, I won't say it's impacted me in any sort of way personally. I've been saying that OTT platforms are the democratization of talent.
Kunal, if you could meet any historical character today, who would that be apart from Babar and Shabail Khan?
Historical character, I think Mahatma Gandhi.
And why is that?
Well, I find his approach and his philosophies and all that have been very, very interesting. And he's somebody I would have loved to meet.
What was the biggest challenge in playing this role?
The biggest challenge actually was the pandemic. I think, we were supposed to shoot this over 4 months, and we've taken 2 years to finish it because of the scale of it. And when you're shooting during the pandemic and you have to continue creating something in that scale, it becomes very challenging. We've shot the action over 18 days, horses, elephants, hundreds of fighters and character artists and huge sets which have taken months to build. So all that became, I think, very, very challenging. And as an actor, I think it's very challenging because everybody else can wear a mask on the set, and when you go on a set, you've got to take the mask off, and you're smack in the middle of the pandemic. And even though everyone's been tested and stuff, there is still a sense of fear. So I think that's been the biggest challenge.
You find it liberating that the sort of freedom that OTT provides to actors. I think for a movie, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you feel that maybe producers would have come forward and Kunal Kapoor is helming the film, and we'll be making these huge sets and all that jazz around it. But on an OTT platform, because I think it's the entire project that really is the star, that producers and platforms, they're fine with it because they know that it as a show, something is going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been saying that OTT platforms are the democratization of talent, which means that you're not cast according to market forces. You're cast according to who's appropriate for the role. And because of which, not only in India, but across the world, you see so many talented actors now that have never been seen before, have never got their due, doing really, really well. So it really is the democratization of talent. And the great thing about OTT, like you were saying, is that it's not dependent on market forces. Right. Even for things like let's put in a song, or let's how do we get a big opening? Those are things that are not part of the dictionary. Whereas as far as OTT platforms are concerned, and it's great for actors.
And no one is asking कि CP Birar में क्या audience के लिए क्या है इसके अंदर?
बिल्कुल और item गाना डालना पड़ेगा और 6 गाने होने चाहिए. जी. Romantic गाना तो होना ही चाहिए तो.
Right. What did you find the most fascinating thing about Babar?
What I found really fascinating about how this character is written is that this character has a lot of self-doubt. He's crippled by self-doubt. So even when he becomes the emperor, he feels like, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? Did I get lucky? And I've met a lot of successful people who, when you look at them from the outside, you feel like these are people that must be perfect. They must be very confident, and they must be driven, and they must be determined and all that. And then when you get to know them, you realize that they have a lot of self-doubt, and they are sometimes crippled by that self-doubt. So that was something that I found very interesting about him.
All right, a quality of Drashti Dhami you wish all your co-actresses had.
Well, she's very easy to work with. She's a pleasure to work with. She's very easy. There's no drama. She's just there to do her work. And even off-screen, she's really easy to hang out with and great fun to be around. So that's great because I've worked with some actresses where there's more drama off-screen than on-screen. And with her, it's not like that, which is great.
And mummy into as well.
And there's no mummy, yeah.
All right. How the role of Babar impacted you personally?
Well, I won't say it's impacted me in any sort of way personally. I mean, I don't think any role really sort of impacts me like that. I think it just gives you a chance to discover parts of yourself that you haven't discovered before. And it just gave me a chance to this is a character who's physically very strong, but can be emotionally weak and vulnerable. So it just gave me a chance to dive into more vulnerable parts of myself. And that's something that you don't often do in your whole life. And I think acting gives you a chance to do that.
How can you sum up Shabana Azmi in one word?
Great fun. Everyone thinks that Shabana ji is a very, very serious person. And I used to feel like that as well. But it's just great fun being around her. She's just full of great stories, anecdotes, jokes. She's a lot of fun to be around.
If a biopic were to be made on fallen people, which actor you think would be perfect to play them on screen? APJ Abdul Kalam.
Abdul Kalam will be a very, very difficult one to cast. When I wake up, my hair often looks like his. So I think maybe I'll be the right guy.
Okay, Ashok Kumar saab, the legendary Ashok Kumar actor.
The actor?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, somehow the first name that comes to my mind is Ayushmann Khurrana.
All right, interesting. Okay, Dilip Kumar saab.
Dilip Kumar saab, how do you cast for? I mean, how does anyone match up to playing Dilip Kumar saab?
Would you say Babar in the Empire is your most challenging role so far?
Yes.
Have you regretted passing any role?
Yes.
Have you ever had a fight with any of your directors?
No.